Hey guys, Aaron Zagarba here. Today, in this video, I'm going to teach you how to use a mini-DV camcorder. Let's get started. Alright, so right now I have a more professional grade mini-DV camcorder, but this video will apply to all mini-DV capable camcorders. So basically, this is one of the more professional grade ENG cameras that we have here at the studio. I've talked a little bit about all these cameras. This is the Panasonic AGDVC 15P. And of course it's a little bit of a bigger camera than the one I'm actually recording the video on right now. So I'm actually recording directly on mini-DV. When you're recording on mini-DV, of course what you're going to want is a mini-DV tape. Now, I'm just using this one as an example, but what you want to normally do is you go to Amazon or eBay and you can buy completely blank, brand new tapes to record onto. And of course, you want to make sure it's all the way rewound. Now, if you buy it new, it's already going to be done for you, so you don't have to do all that work. But if you're taping over an old tape, first off, make sure you have already saved all that footage somewhere and digitized it or whatever, or saved it onto another tape, so that footage is basically saved, so you don't just mess up a bunch another tape basically. So first what you're going to do is so each mini-DV camcorder is different with this process, but when you find the eject tape button or lever or whatever it is on your camera, just press it. It will pop out. You're going to insert the tape like this. Now, there's a little tab right here. I don't know if you can see it, but you want to make sure it's closed. This tab is the recording tab. So similar to how VHS tapes have this little divot essentially on the tape to prevent you from recording over it. It's kind of a somewhat similar thing. So to record with this, you want to have this closed up. To save, you can just pull this little divot back. So if I have it pulled back, that means it's saved and you can't just record over it accidentally. So I'm going to put it on record mode. I'm going to slide it in, and you want it to be facing this way, downward. I'm going to push it in, and I'm going to push it in like this. There we go. It's going to take a minute to basically load and process that. Okay, we have a tape in the camera. Now, right now, unfortunately, the camera's on low battery, so it's having a little bit of issues, but now you are basically ready to record. So once you have the tape fully rewound, what you can do is you can go out, and of course you can press record, and of course make a video. And then once you're done, generally what you want to do is, of course, if you want to digitize this footage, you're going to have to basically rewind the tape. So the thing that a lot of people don't understand with analog tape formats is you can't just drag and drop like you can with SD cards and other digital formats like the digital cameras or your iPhone or whatever. So since it is a physical medium essentially, what you are going to have to do is you're going to have to get a device that can transfer from an analog signal with either these red, white, and yellow cables. So this red and white cable right here is going to be your left and right audio channels. This yellow cable is for video. And then you have an extra one if you have a nicer camera. This is called S-Video. This is essentially a step up from the yellow cable, so it is a more higher quality type of cable compared to just using the yellow cable. But most people just use the yellow cable, and it will work perfectly fine. So in the long run, S-Video doesn't necessarily matter unless you just want a little bit more quality. It doesn't really matter. But anyways, point being, you're going to need a device that can take these inputs and then, of course, obviously take it and put it either into an SD card or hard drive. So there are multiple ways of doing this. One way to actually transfer your footage is by using a device like this. So you got your AV cables right here. So you got your yellow, white, and red cable. And what you are going to do is you're going to take a device like this. Of course, you can buy them on Amazon. I'll put a couple links in the description just so y'all have some options. My professor actually recently bought this one. So essentially, what you'll do is you're going to connect these cables. So here goes the yellow, here goes the white, and here goes the red. Okay, so now I'm just going to set that down. We're going to pretend it's on because the battery is dead, unfortunately. But let's say it's on. We're going to rewind the tape all the way back. You're going to have to wait a couple minutes depending on how long your footage is. So go all the way back to where you want to start your video. And of course, once you start pressing, when you press play, that image and the audio is going to show up on this device. So what you'll do is you will have like an SD card, or you can have a flash drive connected to this. So what that will allow you to do is then once the image and audio shows up on the screen here, you can press this little record button and it will record the footage that is being directly played off of this. The thing that a lot of people don't understand is that you have to wait for the entire thing to finish playing through, depending on how much footage you actually want to have recorded digitally on like an SD card or whatever. But point being is it's all linear. So the amount of time that you're going to be playing the actual video coming directly from this camera into this device is going to correlate with how much you're actually going to have recorded onto the card. So since you cannot actually drag and drop footage like you can with an SD card, you actually have to sit there and wait and let it do the recording for you. Because essentially, now a lot of the younger audience is probably not going to recognize or remember this, but of course when VHS was a big thing, in particular when people were actually still using VHS to record different TV shows and stuff, the whole point was for a VHS you could have your VHS player connected to your television set, and of course it will record at a certain specific time for a TV show that you wanted to save. Because, oh, you're not going to be at home to watch it, and you can just watch it later. But point being is, it was all done linearly. Basically, that is essentially what you're doing here. This device, you do need a USB-C cable to power it on. But basically, it's a very simple, easy-to-use device. I used to use a video switcher. I used to use this video switcher. So for the longest time I actually recorded a lot of the videos from either a DVD player, VHS, or mini DV, and that signal would be transferred into this device. And what I would do is I would actually use the S-video input we have on this device, along with the audio left and right channels right here. And essentially that signal would be taken, going into this device, and then what it would do is it would go out to my computer, and then it would be recorded directly onto my Mac. There is a thing that you can essentially do where you can basically record a video, and of course what it will do is once you select the video switcher, it will take that signal and then you can basically go on to, if you have a Mac, press record, and then it will record what is technically being displayed. And that was actually the process that I used for a good while until my professor actually bought this little device, which is actually really nice because that means it's less smaller. And also, the big issue that we have now is this thing barely works. At some point, it just decided to basically have a heart attack, and it's just not worked the same way since. It is very sad. I'm very sad to see this thing go because I've used this for a lot of stuff. I've actually used it for podcasts before. I've used it for, of course, a lot of the analog videos I've made and stuff like that. Kind of sad to see it go, but also we got a nice small little device that you can use, and of course you can use SD cards with it. So that actually makes it much more compact and a much less complicated process. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye.